through! Ha! Now! Scarlet Inferno! I'll burn it all! Ah! Flaming Pillar! Fire! Damn, I can't believe I'm still standing after that.
Nice, Alphen! You did it!
You cleared the solo fights! That's amazing!
Are you all right? You're not hurt, are you?
I'm fine, really. Just a little wiped is all. Truth be told, I'm just glad to see all that hard training paid off in the end.
That was simply marvelous, Alphen. Were I still a lord, I would happily extend an invitation to join the Menancian Guards.
Now that would have been interesting. I bet he would have made a good guardsman.
Sure, but then we wouldn't have him with us to complete our quest.
True. There'd still be a lot of walls for us to tear down if I left to join the Guardsmen.
A valid point, and one that I hadn't considered. Forget that I ever said anything.
I'm only as strong as I am today because of all of you. Everything we've done as a group brought me here. I can't even begin to say how thankful I am to know each and every one of you. Truly. Thank you, everyone.
It's time to finish this! Die! Consuming wildfire! Explosive charge! Spark!
Well, how do you think I did?
What do I think? I think you did one hell of a job. Just what made you decide to go all the way and get so strong?
I guess you could say pride. Once I set my mind on doing something, I can't rest until I see it through to the end. Although, after a while, I did want to put myself to the test and see how strong I am. That was definitely part of it, too.
I can understand that. Always feels great when you can tell you're really honing your techniques.
You look like a queen at this point, Xion. No joke.
A queen?
Yeah! You brush enemies aside like it's nothing and don't let them get in close. You are really cool out there.
I mean, I was just doing that to be cautious. I can't afford to let anyone get close since I use a gun and all.
Regardless, you still came out on top all by yourself. Congrats, Xion. I'm proud of you.
Thanks, Alphen. Now that I'm so strong, I'm thinking I might want to face off against you next.
I'll give it some thought.
I'll take it from here. Let's see how you handle this! Deus Roar! Fragile Radiance, shine upon the watery abyss! Aquarius, damnation! We did it, Hootle! We crushed the competition!
You've gotten way stronger since we first met you in Calaglia, Rinwell.
You wouldn't think she's a hardened fighter from how excited she looks.
Nothing wrong with that. It's good to see her smiling. What's gotten into you?
Birds are sometimes known to act aggressively towards those who get close to their chosen partners. Perhaps something similar is taking place here.
Huh? What are you talking about? Nah, no way. I ain't interested in some tomboy like... Stop it! How do I get him to leave me alone?
Maybe he's just upset because you haven't congratulated her yet. Did you think of that, Law?
Wow, Rinwell! You did such a great job! You're so amazing!
What's gotten into you?
I'm just trying to compliment you on a job well done!
Oh, thanks.
Yeah. Sure, you're welcome.
Huh? Something smells nice.
It's probably the accessory I picked up earlier. It uses materials that put off a pleasing aroma.
Ooh, that sounds lovely. I'm jealous.
Want to try it on? I'm sure it'll look great on you.
Really? I'd love to.
This is great. The taste and aroma will blow everyone away. So, Halim, care if I hang out for a while?
Would you perchance be interested in going on a walk together?
Why? You're not on guard duty for another few hours.
Which is why I want to walk. To hear the music in these parts.
Music? Where are you going to find musicians all the way out here?
There's more to music than what people play. It's in the grass, fluttering in the wind, the leaves in the trees, and the songs of birds and insects. Once you open your ears, you'll find that music is truly everywhere in this world.
What sounds like music depends on who's listening, huh? It's an interesting idea, but I think it might be a little too difficult for me. Speaking of music, whatever happened to your instruments? You used to be a musician, didn't you?
Those are well out of my reach at this point. That aside, I don't feel that I yet have the right to play any of them again. You could say that it is in part my way of atoning for that which I have failed to do over the years.
Meaning that you haven't completely given up on making things right.
Do you think me a fool stuck in the past?
Not at all. In fact, far from it. You sound like you're still holding out hope for a brighter future. Picture yourself being able to play your music again. Doesn't that motivate you to keep going even when things get tough?
I see what you mean. I didn't realize that drive still lingered within me. The darkness in one's heart is sure to manifest in their music. However, I promise you that one day, when that darkness has finally lifted, I shall let you hear me perform.
Well, now that you said it, you're gonna have to follow through. I look forward to hearing you play.
I suppose we should call it a day. Shall we get moving?
I'll crush you! Lightning reflexes! Tenebrous claw! It's time! Ha! Watch me soar! Heavenly Crimson Blossom! Hell yeah! Look who cleared the solo fights!
That was great. You really earned it.
I barely broke a sweat doing all that. All in a day's work for the likes of me.
I'd argue that at times things looked rather harrowing for you. Nevertheless, I'm glad to see you emerge safe and victorious.
Can't you see how excited he is? Maybe next time hold your tongue before you rain on someone's parade.
You're right. He can always reflect on what he did wrong later.
Hey, are you guys saying
You did good, Law. I can tell that your mind and techniques have really improved.
Alphen, thanks, man! I'll always follow you wherever you go. You can count on it.
I'll take you all on! Ha! Flare Demolisher! Perforating Howl! Yeah! Take that! And that! One more for luck! Wait for it! Final player! Looks like I pulled through. Glad to see I can still do the guard proud.
I'd say what you've done will truly inspire the other guardsmen. Few of them enlisted today could do what you've accomplished here.
Man, being a guardsman sounds rough. You've still got to carry that kind of a weight on your shoulders even after you leave.
If only I'd reached this point sooner. Perhaps my brother would have opened up to me more while he was still alive. I feel like I failed him as a sister.
In hindsight, Miguel was always concerned for your well-being.
He was? I knew it. Of course he was. He must have thought I was far too weak to ever be a
As I recall, he worried that if you became too strong, any potential suitors would be frightened away.
Suitors?
Dohalim. Did you really think that was an appropriate topic to bring up right now?
Why? Was I out of line somehow?
I don't think you need to worry, Kisara. Everyone knows you're good at cooking.
Right, and you know how to fish, which means you can carry your own weight outdoors, too.
I don't know if telling her that is going to help in the way you guys think it will.
No, it's nice to hear that my skills are so appreciated after all. Thank you, Alphen.
I suppose that makes you something of a wild guardsman, then.
Dohalim, please stop talking.
Behold! The Earth's pulse! Tectonic vision! A newborn future, the past hereby severed. Epochal severance! I suppose that concludes the last of my training exercises.
Congratulations on clearing the solo fights, Dohalim. Not that I expected anything less.
Damn, you really are strong, man. You're not even breathing heavily or anything.
I'm honored you think so highly of me, but to be quite frank, the fact that I can hold my own in solo combat is hardly newsworthy.
Yeah, but it's still a testament to why you were picked to be a lord. No ordinary Renan has got that kind of strength.
That isn't saying much, considering how I let my skills rust while in charge of Elda Menancia.
Still as modest as ever.
It's okay to take a compliment every now and again. As I've traveled the world with everyone, I've come to realize what a good realm Menancia ultimately is. These training grounds are part of the reason why it's good. You had them built to make this realm a better place for everyone, didn't you?
I suppose when you put it like that, I did have my reasons for having this facility erected, yes. Looking back on things, it's clear I should have tried out these exercises for myself, at least once during my reign as Lord.
Why do you say that?
Because the training itself skews too heavily in favor of refining only the basics. Its actual applications are rather limited. It would be nice if there was at least one more higher level of training, in my humble opinion.
You do realize that everyone who trains here is not going to be as skilled a fighter as you are, right, Dohalim?
Now that's what I like to see. Nice work, you guys. We really tore through those group battles.
We did great, and I'm just as amazed as everyone else, but was this really an efficient use of our time?
Considering what lies ahead on our journey, I'd say our time training here will prove valuable going forward.
Indeed. If we are to change things for the better, the challenges we face are ones that shall require us to fight at the absolute top of our abilities.
These exercises really brought home the fact that I'm not alone in this fight. That's enough to make this training worth it for me.
Why are you guys all acting so serious? We won those fights as a team! Come on, you should be way more excited! Give me a cheer!
You're right. What we did here is more than just proof of how far we've come and how much we've grown. It proved the strength of our bonds together. I'm sorry. I guess I shouldn't worry so much.
You needn't apologize. At any rate, I think a small toast is in order for us this evening.
In that case, I'll make sure to cook something extra special for dinner as well.
You guys, you're not listening to me!
We hear you, Law, don't worry. Once we've actually saved the world from destruction, you can be sure we'll be letting loose celebrating it.
Oh, that's a promise, you hear? Can't go back on it now!
Yeah, I'll have to practice to get ready for it.
Practice?
I hope everyone isn't pushing themselves too hard. Thanks for waiting, everyone. Come on over and grab some food.
Dohalim, care if I hang out for a while? You want some?
Well, I'll be. I'm not accustomed to such offers, but I'll gladly partake. It's quiet tonight, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't think there are even any Zoogles lurking around for once. Is this one of those times where people would start playing music?
My, have our talks sparked an interest in such arts?
I wouldn't go that far. But from what I've seen, there's a lot more to life than just swinging swords and getting into fights all the time.
You wouldn't have gone without that knowledge for so long, had we Renans not pillaged your planet. Words cannot express how sorry I feel.
300 years of bad blood is too much to lay on one person's feet. That's something a man I admired once said.
I appreciate the sentiment. I pray that once all of this fighting is over, you'll be able to finally find a purpose for yourself, other than simply fighting.
You know, it's strange. I haven't given much thought about what I'm actually going to do with my life once our quest is all over. The only thing I've ever been good at in life is swinging my sword around and hitting things.
Then perhaps it's time for you to begin to contemplate what else you wish to do in life.
Aside from fighting... I guess you've got things like your music and antique collecting to look forward to after all.
Well, I'm sure you have other interests as well. From what I can tell, you seem to be rather interested in weaponry and Renan machinery, yes?
I'm only interested in weapons when it comes to how easy they are to use. And as for technology, I don't know a damn thing about it.
If you have the interest, you can always learn. Being able to understand and create technology that supports and improves lives is always valuable.
I'm not sure I'm cut out for studying. You're right, there's stuff I wouldn't mind knowing more about, but...
That was merely a hypothetical example. My point is that sometimes you can find the answer in the things that you like and already do.
Yeah, I hear you. Hey, I know. If we're talking about things I like, what if I tried opening a spicy food restaurant?
Not bad. Although your customer base may be limited.
I feel bad making you my life coach when I originally just wanted to drink together.
Think nothing of it. It is the least I owe you. My life wouldn't be what it is today had you and your friends not come to Vicent. In fact, I think I may owe you all more than I could ever hope to... Alphen? We'd best get ready for tomorrow. Once we finish eating, we should get going.
Yes!
Excuse me!
Hey!
Really now?
What?
I see. Agreed.
Very nice.
Dohalim? The line of researchers is getting longer.
Perhaps I should have put more thought into this before accepting.
Looks like we've warped into that pit of astral energy.
Helganquil!
Guess they don't need their Red Woman disguises anymore.
Wait, can you understand us?
It's no use. We're not going to get through to them.
So they really are being controlled. In that case, we've got no choice.
I knew there was something off here!
They're not pulling punches. We have no choice but to beat them at their own game.
Thunderblade! Illuminate the dark! Eat holy land! Glacial changes between heaven and earth! We managed to turn the tide!
For now. But things could shift.
You're
No,
right.
I
Better
mean, you're
stay
even
alert.
better than ever. Alphen,
I can't forgive them for what they've done, but I hate killing them. They don't even know why they're fighting. How does that even make them any different from the Danon slaves?
Perhaps. However, if we don't make a choice, the guilt of not doing anything will be that much worse.
Yeah, I know. I hate for it to be like this. But if it happens again, you won't find me hesitating to act.
I wonder if we're going to get attacked again.
If we lose heart now, this whole mission is over. We have to stay the course.
I thought there'd be more dirt and rocks and stuff underneath the hollowed ocean, but it's all artificial.
I would imagine they're remnants left behind by the Helganquil, seeing as there's little actual land remaining.
It's incredible. Do you think it stretches all the way down to the center of the planet?
Hey, these guys built Lenegus, remember? They probably did this in a weekend.
If they had the power to create things like this, did they really only use those immense capabilities to serve the Great Spirit? Or rather, was that the only use the Great Spirit let them use their capabilities for? We haven't seen anyone here except Helganquil. Looks like this place really is their home planet.
The true citizens of Renna. What a shame that they have become nothing more than puppets to the Great Spirit. To think of the promise their accomplishments once held. They had the potential to be great indeed.
Do you think we could have got along with them? You know, if we had met under different circumstances. Like
all of us, you mean? I suppose it's difficult to say for sure. We don't even know if they would see us as being on an equal level with them or not.
I think we may have had the chance once, before the Renan Great Spirit came along and changed everything.
You and Alphen both share an optimism. A strong willingness to believe in hope.
Do you think that's foolish?
On the contrary, I should like to take a leaf from your book myself. In tragedy's aftermath, hope is all we have.
Just look at the size of that thing. The Helganquil's technology certainly is impressive. And they don't seem to do things by halves either. In the past 300 years. No, even before that. Just how many people, Renan or Danon, do you think have ever seen this?
regarding the past 3 centuries at least, I'd say there's a good chance that we're the first. Also, while I get that it's impressive and all, I'm just amazed you're still standing around gawping at it at a time like this. Sometimes I wonder about your priorities.
I can understand where he's coming from. More to the point, does anyone know where it leads?
What do you mean where it leads? To the center of the planet, of course.
And that doesn't strike you as sounding just a little bit, oh, I don't know, far? There has to be a quicker way to get there, right?
Yeah. With all this technology at their fingertips, it seems pretty unlikely that they'd make that kind of journey on foot. There must be some kind of device somewhere. Let's see if we can figure out how to use it.
Borrow one of their contraptions? You're either brave or out of your mind.
If it works for them, there's no reason it wouldn't for us. Why make things harder for ourselves?
You know what he's like, Law. Once he gets an idea in his head, there's no talking him out of it.
A 6-armed giant. Is this the Zoogle from the request?
It's not only alive, but completely uninjured.
We'll just have to see for ourselves if it's really as ferocious as they say.
Out of my way!
This is gonna need all of us together!
Make it rain!
Commander of Heaven!
Phoenix Cyclone!
Mega Ray!
Aw,
Amazing! Not long to go now.
We couldn't have done it without you, Rinwell.
Thanks. Come on, let's you and me get in there and finish this fight. This one's got your name on it!
Ashes to ashes!
Well, we beat it in the end.
Let us harvest what we can use and take it with us.
Built for the sake of it and then cast aside. How sad.
I wonder how the Renans avoided being mind-controlled like the Helganquil. Do you think it might have something to do with the fact that they were originally Danans?
I'd say it's likely, which is pretty ironic when you think about it.
Ironic?
The Renans have committed grave injustices against the Danans. But it was all of their own volition, not because they were being controlled. Now, it turns out they themselves were once Danans too.
Which must mean that the root of their evil isn't the Great Spirit, but something inherent in all of us. Our free will.
Now hang on, though. It was that same free will that allowed Xion and Dohalim to choose to fight alongside us. Without it, we wouldn't have been able to beat hatred and forge all those connections we've made. Free will is what saved us, right?
Law's entirely right. In any case, it certainly can't hurt to look on the bright side every now and then.
Yeah. Where there's hope, there's a way.
What'd he say?
He said, without a doubt.
Yes.
Hmm?
Is this a dead end?
It appears this whole room functions as an elevator. That apparatus there is likely what's used to control it.
What the? Where did they come from?
Less worry, more action. Concentrate.
Even in such a harsh environment as this, there are still creatures here?
You think they're native to Rena? Or could they be Zoogle somehow?
Whatever they are, they're dangerous. Watch yourselves around them. You think that pit stretches all the way to Rena's core?
If that's true, then if we go down, we should find the Great Spirit at the bottom.
We could get there even faster if we simply jump down instead.
You sound alarmingly serious when you say that.
These structures don't look like anything built by the Renans, or even what we saw in the Forbidden Zone.
Perhaps this is the true architectural style of the Helganquil. Or perhaps the opposite, given their situation.
You mean like how some places favor building stuff with stone, while others rely on wood?
That's an interesting way of looking at it. I'll have to inquire with Hevrect 35 about it sometime.
What do you think this place was for?
What the hell? Are they asleep?
No, they appear to be well preserved. However, they are all dead.
Dead? So this is a mass grave?
Looks that way. However, none of them appear to be Helganquil.
Bear in mind that Renans were originally Danans, who were remade and sent to live on Lenegis. Knowing that, they would have needed a place to perform the procedures somewhere.
And that place is here, I assume.
So what you're saying is that all of these are Danan, or rather, Renan bodies?
Most likely, yes. It must have been abandoned for one reason or another.
There are so many of them. They were all taken away, but never given the chance to wake.
What is that thing?
Something we have to fight if we want to get across, it seems.
Be careful! It's huge!
What is with all the huge lumbering beasts lately?
It's no ordinary Zoogle. That much is damn sure.
Watch yourself. All bets are off when it comes to this thing. Wind! No further!
Thunderous devastation! River blow! Hydration orb! Now!
Greenwell! Light burst forth!
Radiant Genesis!
Lunar Rumble!
Lunar corruption! Going in!
Thunderous
Hydration
devastation!
Gemini Aqua!
Slice!
I'm almost impressed.
Our praise comes
Its head is its weak point?
We'll need to bring it down somehow to hit it.
In that case, let's start with the one in the middle.
Annihilation!
Look sharp! Lightning Tiger Blade! The hell was that thing?
Probably something that was made here and somehow managed to survive, even after all this time. Not that there's any way of knowing now.
What's wrong?
Oh, I just suddenly found myself contemplating what might have happened to the sovereigns that were meant to emerge from the crown contests.
What do you mean?
You see, the winners of the past crown contests were all strong astral arts practitioners. Furthermore, that enemy we just fought appeared to be composed of several human bodies. It was certainly nothing one would find in nature.
You're saying those were the remains of the winners? That they forgot who they once were?
I'm merely saying it's a possibility.
That's absolutely gruesome. How long had the Helganquil been at this?
It was Rena's great spirit that made them do all of this. Anything to get its astral energy.
We're not gonna jump down, right?
I certainly hope not.
After hearing Dohalim's suggestion, I'm honestly not sure what to say.
I assure you all, I was merely stating the possibility.
So, looks like the Helganquil have been engineering Zoogles too. Why doesn't that surprise me at this point?
The creatures we've been encountering here have been a little different to what we're used to fighting, but I'm pretty sure they're Zoogles too.
Do you think they were engineered using creatures native to the area?
Indeed. However, based on the current circumstances, I would guess these Zoogles are all that's left of the planet's fauna now.
You mean, there might have been native owl species here once upon a time too?
We're back in that other room? Did the teleporter fail or something?
Something feels off about it.
Look! Everything's upside down!
The furnishings are, at least. No, you're right. The whole room's flipped on its head.
So what was once down is now up, and vice versa. I suppose the teleporter reversed our orientation then.
I guess this is the flip side of that pathway we were walking on just a little while ago.
This is crazy. Who knew such amazing technology existed?
Everything's topsy-turvy and that's all you can think about?
Bear in mind, the core of Rena now sits above us. I pray that we won't encounter many stairs along the way.
What are those? They look like Shion's thorns, and with flowers too.
Not real ones, though. They're just like that flower growing out of Rena.
We must be getting close to the Great Spirit now.
Hey, Rinwell, what was that thing you said about how a little bit of Dana's Great Spirit is inside all of us?
Right. That's why Dana's Great Spirit is so much more diluted. Weak, even. Whether it was a choice so it didn't overpower others, or just the way it is anyone's guess.
If that's true, then wouldn't it mean Dana's will could never form under natural conditions?
Yeah, sounds like that's probably the case.
So if Dana exists within all of us, then what if something occurred that brought everyone's hearts and minds together as one? That unity could potentially act as Dana's will.
You mean if everybody was, like, thinking the exact same thing at the exact same time? Come on, there's no way we could pull that off.
I know it's a long shot, but it might work.
Let's assume that's even possible for a second. Would it even be enough to fight back against Rena's Great Spirit?
If nothing else, it might be an option if we can't use the Renis Alma.
Things are different here than on the surface.
That shows how deeply we've ventured into Rena.
And how close we've come to the real enemy.
So here's a question. We came all this way to Rena on the assumption the Renis Alma's here, right?
Don't say it, Law.
Yeah, but I'm just saying...
I said don't.
I can understand why you might be concerned, Law. But you need to remember that there are people it affects more directly than you.
Oh, sorry.
We've managed to make it this far believing. Losing faith now won't do us any good. We're better off focusing our anxiety elsewhere.
Such as?
The Great Spirit. If Hevrect 35's to be believed, our enemy won't just be handing over the Renis Alma to us. At least, not without a fight.
Not only that, but that same enemy just gulped down more than an entire world's worth of astral energy.
Point taken. It may be strange to say, but when I'm fighting, or at least know what needs to be done, it helps me a lot. I don't doubt myself as much. So thanks, both of you. The floor's on the ceiling and the ceiling's on the floor. This whole thing's making my head spin. Why would they even do something like this?
The Helganquil can bend life forms to suit their will. Nothing they could do at this point would surprise me.
The ceiling is on the floor. That doesn't weird you out?
What good is a team made up of members who all share the same opinions on everything? And besides, when you get to be at my ripe old age, one begins to consider it quite uncouth to show one's true emotions at times.
Oh, come on, Grandpa. You can't be that old.
The sands of time wait for none of us, lad.
Yeah, we'll see. Though at this rate, I guess I'll have to live long enough to get as old as you first, huh?
You will. And when the time comes, I look forward to hearing you change your tune on the matter.
The Zoogles here are putting up a real fight.
That just goes to show how important this place is.
Or perhaps they simply thrived freely here under such harsh conditions.
I don't give a damn why they're here. We'll burn it all to the ground.
The astral energy here is so dense. It's like trying to walk through water.
I know the Great Spirit's will is in the center of Rena, but with the world in this state, the entire planet has become its body, right? So doesn't that mean we're already inside it?
I would say that is horrifyingly correct. After all, the further we climb, the denser the astral energy becomes.
What's the matter, Rinwell? Are you not feeling all right?
No, it's nothing like that. It just feels like the energy here is a little more intense than it was before.
You mean Rena's energy?
Yeah, it's like when I made contact with Dana's will in the wedge. It's almost as though I can understand what Rena's will is thinking.
But Rena's will is supposed to be a lot stronger. Aren't we risking the Great Spirit controlling us if we interact with it directly?
I don't think we have to worry about that. Rena's will is only supposed to control true Renans, like the Helganquil. If we can discern what the Great Spirit is thinking too, we might learn something, a weakness. But just to be safe, let me contact it alone.
Are you insane? Rinwell, you're gonna...
Linwell!
There was only meant to be one world. And your goal is to make them one. Is this fear? What just happened?
Are you all right? Rinwell? Rinwell, are you okay?
No, I'm fine. I think.
What were you thinking? You could have gotten yourself killed!
He's right. You had us all terrified, Rinwell.
I'm sorry. I really am. But I know now. I know how the Great Spirit thinks. I know what it wants, how it feels. Rena's Great Spirit wants to complete the world.
What's that supposed to mean? Are you saying it's trying to make something?
Yes, exactly. Originally, Dana and Rena were meant to be one world. But that never happened. They've stayed separated, and the Great Spirit wants to finish the process.
What do you mean, one world? How is that even possible?
I don't know, but its will is clear. That's what the Great Spirit is trying to accomplish. The only problem is that since Rena's energy isn't evenly spread like Dana's, it seems like it'll vanish before that happens naturally.
So it's trying to absorb Dana while it still can, so that it can force the two planets to unite. Is that what you're saying?
The Great Spirit is scared. But it's not scared the way a rational person would be. It's more raw and undiluted, like just pure fear.
Like an animal, acting out of instinct. Although admittedly, an animal would be easier to communicate with. At the very least, I have my doubts that it recognizes us as sentient beings with a reason for coming here. Earth, water, fire, and wind energy exist in both worlds, but only darkness and light can be found within Rena and Dana, respectively. The Renis Alma, as far as we know, the only host capable of harvesting the astral energy, is composed of all six. Knowing all that, Rinwell's findings do sound plausible.
That sounds a lot like Shion's thorns, doesn't it? The whole reason the Great Spirit is trying to unite Dana and Rena into one world is in order to save itself. And if her thorns are part of the Great Spirit, then they must also be trying to save themselves?
Alphen, what is it?
We thought the only way to free your thorns was for you to die. Yet despite that, they seem to be doing everything in their power to stop that from happening to you. Something wasn't adding up. But then I just realized something. If the Great Spirit doesn't want to die, then neither would your thorns. Those same emotions, that fear, that determination, and its energy must have been the same thing that was keeping you alive. You were its vessel.
In that case, is that why her thorns caused so much pain to anyone who touched her? Because they were trying to protect themselves?
If that's all true, then... well, it's more than a little ironic.
The Great Spirit merely expresses its desires. I imagine it was the Helganquil who were likely tasked with putting together and implementing an actual plan.
Shion.
I'm okay. We need to hurry and clean this mess up before it gets out of hand.
Still, even if the current state of the world is wrong like you said, does that really make everything okay?
If the world had been whole from the start, as it should have been, there'd be no Dana and no Rena, no masters or slaves, no lords, no crown contest, maybe just peace.
To think, all this started because of the Great Spirit's desire to keep living. The only reason it craves energy is because it's dying from starvation. When you think about it like that, maybe the things it's done aren't so strange after all.
If Rena had been more like Dana, things would have worked out a whole lot better.
It's like Hevrecht 35 told us. The Danan and Renan spirits are meant to be completely different beings.
Rena's energy amassing in one place led to its developing a powerful will. But that also made it crave energy, sapping Rena dry until it perished.
Whereas Dana's energy is dispersed, meaning its will never developed to the same extent. And without that hunger, Dana the planet was spared.
As for which is correct, well, I'm not sure it's our place to even say. Still, I can't help but think it reminds me a lot of the dichotomy of the human condition.
Dichotomy? What do you mean?
Those who know not satisfaction are driven to keep devouring without limit. But those who are content with their lot in life rarely fulfill their potential. I imagine it's likely that the larger Rena's Great Spirit grew, the more and more powerful its hunger also became.
Everything in moderation. When all's said and done, maybe that's the hardest thing for people to learn.